Alright then, so welcome everyone to round 7 of Dynamic Racing League's DTM here on the Dynamic Racing League's YouTube channel. Of course, we are here in a very sunny circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain. And today I am joined by a co-commentator for the first time on the channel. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Brandon Haig and I'll be Apple or Zokio's co-commentator for today over on Twitch.
Yep, so of course Dynamic Racing League now expanding into another avenue of streaming now on Twitch. Whether you're listening to us on there or on YouTube, thanks for tagging along with us. We're going to be bringing you some fantastic action here today with a very full field, it's looking like, of cars here today at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.
Yeah, of course. The Team Black Diamond car already out, first out in the pits. Looking very strong as always these rounds in DTM.
Yep,
we'll see what he has to bring.
That is Sailor, of course. Sailor has already won a couple races this season, and that team has been very successful and did a very good showing actually yesterday in the Super Formula, so looking to see great things from him.
He's brute as he goes into the gravel, maybe he can get a result today. Let's see what happens.
Of course, the iconic bright pink Fujitsu car always seems to be out of luck, but hopefully today will be his day.
We've got TSR sticking the R8 with a fitting tribute on the roof of the late great Nicky Lauda.
Of course,
passed away early this week.
Of course, paying his respects there. Also, seemed to take or is taking the alternate layouts that he is quite used to now in his own championships, taking that sort of B layout, the more high-speed route through Sector 2.
We've got Rob in the HKS Audi R8. His yellow flag's being waved.
Yeah, there's a car
That
stopped.
looks like...
Yep, Groot is indeed stopped on the outside. So of course the bright green machine, good to see him back yet again. We've got Alphanut as well for the Virtual Racers Club. I've actually remembered what it's an acronym of for once. Texaco machine, of course. It should do quite well representing the Audi R8s.
Yeah, Nils, that fantastic yellow and chrome Breitling car. Also partnered with your team, Muchon Motorsport.
Of course, the superior team.
Yep.
Hoping that he'll do a good performance today. Unfortunately, no Houdini, his teammate, but hoping to see him in some of the later rounds. But it's just Nils of Nookshot here today. Another car, TSR Jimmy, is here. It's actually qualifying is about to get started now. But just to run you through the rest of the cars, we have TSR Jimmy, we have GRM Bandit as well, and all the names are going completely everywhere. Of course we have series organizer Dynamic Carbon, who are currently on board with exiting the pit lane.
That's a sight to see as well, all the cars, one by one, out of the pit lane. We've got 4 viewers of the stream already, thank you guys for turning up so early.
Yep, 2 viewers on YouTube, so currently Twitch seeming to be the superior streaming service already. So fantastic to see you guys tuning in whatever form you are doing so.
I say the fastest in practice, he'll be hoping to get that double up in qualifying. Take pole giving you a very big advantage on the straight, of course.
As Sailor just about clips the gravel on the exit of turn 5, but there's still an outlap as everyone just trying to space themselves out and give themselves enough space to not be affected by dirty air going on to their qualifying laps. It's going to be a 15-minute session as per usual for these guys. Just doing a bit of tyre weaving, so warming them up.
And what I'm going to do on the start-finish straight, I'm going to go on board with Sail and show you guys a lap of the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.
That is a fantastic idea. I'm going to go on board with them as well. Currently going through the last sector on this very notorious chicane section with very evil anti-cuts. I'll take it over to you as we exit the final corner.
So he goes down the start-finish straight, very fast, very big braking zone as well, especially in these Group 3 cars. We've got Rob Farfab chasing him down, but it is quali. Slipstream could help on the start-finish straight in qualifying. But we're going to the first turn with Sailor, and that easy right-left, and then into a big right-hander. Seems like it's never going to end. And we go into sector 2. Under the bridge, and round this other right-hander. A bit tighter, can be difficult to get to the apex at times. And we have this really tight left-hander, which can catch a few people out. We've seen a few go into the gravel in practice. Got to use all the curb there to try and carry as much speed as possible. Braking into the uphill left-right. And around to the downhill straight. As we go into sector 3. You may notice a big wide corner, that's the MotoGP. We don't take that in the touring car races. We have that really tight left-hander once again. Into another left-right, and then down to the chicane section, where sometimes you can catch bumps on the apex and can sometimes send half of your car airborne. But around the final corner, and that is a lap of Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.
And I think that was a fantastic job by my co-commentator on his first time taking us through a lap of the circuit. It's a 1:44.976 set by Sailor in the end. We're going to see how that compares to the rest of the field. Rob is currently 1.9 seconds off the pace. TSR Stig's just gone fastest with a 1:43.6, and he's 1.2, nearly 1.3 seconds clear of Sailor on the first lap alone. Be interesting to see how his pace stacks up.
Right there. Especially with the mid-engine, it can be hard to keep a car, or keep a car gripped to the circuit with that mid-engine R8. But he seems to be doing a good job as he goes a little bit wide away into sector 2. There's Carbon and Alpha up, almost side by side.
Yep, looks like Carbon's being held up a little bit as Alphanut is very slidey, and in the gravel, Dynamic Carbon had to really put on the brakes there, just avoid that contact. That's compromised that lap. And again, Alphanut seeming to be a bit of a weave McGee, a bit further back. He's now letting a few cars by.
TSR Sticks seem to have taken the escape road there, if you could call it that. He's technically part of an alternate layout. Clips the apex nicely there, as you see the big Circuit de Barcelona logo there. Can he improve on his latest lap time? I don't think it's going to be enough, considering he took the escape road earlier. We'll see what happens, see if anyone can go faster.
Sailor did improve, but he's still a second off the pace of TSR Stig at this stage. Stig's coming through the last corner now, about to come across the line. What's he going to be able to do? It's not going to be an improvement by quite a bit. He's 2.4 seconds off his own pace from that. As Nils is now in the pits. Nils has actually managed to put himself in a solid third place at the moment, 1.5 seconds off the pace of Stig though. Carbon not that far off on the timing sheets. He's currently in 4th, just about a quarter of a tenth off of Nils's pace.
Yeah, I'm going to go on to flood view with him as he heads into sector 2. There's the fastest man just a bit in front of him, TSR Stig, for 1:43.6. Carbon's in the purple. Can he set a fast time? Let's see what happens.
Yeah, coming through turn 5, so easy to understeer off into the gravel. Carbon's staying very well away rather from the gravel on exit and even the curb, so not really playing it risky at this stage of qualifying.
Bandit catching the bollard there on the apex. He's got his warnings on, he's into the pits.
Yeah, that's GRM. He's picked up extreme damage if you just click your F10 on your keyboard. He's got engine damage, front aero and front left rather, suspension, so that must have been a very heavy impact. Of course we can't show you replays unfortunately due to it being a practice session, technically according to the game. We can only do that during race mode.
As we'll go on board with our pole sitter once again, TSR Stig. With the heads-up display, you can see how fast he's going here. Is he going to set a fastest time?
No, not on that occasion.
Fastest.
Dynamic Carbon's actually improved up to second. He's now 8/10 behind Stig, and Stig's pulled off to one side, letting him through. Probably knows that he doesn't want to give him the slipstream advantage down the straight.
See what's happening with Jimmy. He seems to be having a not so great qualifying session so far. He's P5, not as bad as Rob Fab and Alpha Nut, down in 8th and 9th.
Well, Jim Jam has just gone green in Sector 1 and just had a massive slide going through Turn 4. That Aston not looking that stable through the long sweeping corners, it has to be said. Perhaps just requires a little bit of extra tuning to get it just right. And again, avoiding the curb on exit, so he's driving very cautiously here is Jim Jam.
Go on board with Sailor once again. Yeah, that turbo whistling through the corner there. This goes into Sector 3.
Just clipping the gravel on exit. Will that hurt his time? Just has the chicane to go. I'm surprised on this second anti-cut. Yep, that was a bit better. Not very many people seem to have cut that as much as you can while getting away with it. You need to pretty much get the anti-cut in the middle of your car as you go through there. It's not an improvement for Sailor on that occasion, and there's yellow flags in Sector 1. That is TSR Stig, who's parked up early.
We'll have to see what's happened to him. He's got no damage. I think he's just pulled off there.
Meanwhile, Dynamic Carbon's just come into the pits. We've got about just under 6 minutes of qualifying left to go. About 5.5.
Jimmy's 2/10 faster there. It's not enough to catch Nilsman. P4.
Yep, still 4/10 off. Group's actually not that far off the pace of Jimmy, has to be said. Only 35 thousandths back, so Group could be in with a decent shout. We've seen that he does have a fair bit of pace in him. Just never seems to have the look on his side.
Bandit, not also one of them players not having one.
Oh.
My controller did die, I do apologise.
Oh, okay. It's fine, these things happen. Bandit, nearly 3/10 green in Sector 2. So he could be on to improve his time. That might just about be enough to put him ahead of Drew and into the top 6. As we head into the last 4.5 minutes of qualifying.
Alpha Nut seems to be on a much slower lap. He's not that far behind Rob, P8, but it's not looking to be going that good for him. We'll go on board with Dynamic Carbon. She's coming down to the really tight left-hander here.
Again, very cautious on putting the power down out the hairpin. And that's a very tight line. This is an outlap for Carbon, so he's just setting his car up for going onto one. Just trying to space himself out to the car ahead, which is Alpha Nut, of course. Alpha Nut is now saying he's up into 8th, but that is because Rob has gone into the pits. So as soon as Rob crosses the Sector 1 marker, he'll be registered as ahead again. It's an improvement by Alpha Nut of 1/10. So he's actually a 10th clear of Rob's time, so he's now not last, he's second to last, as Jeremy Clarkson once said.
Seems all the cars have about maybe 2 laps left. See what they can do, see if there'll be any changes to the order. I'm sure it'll be fantastic racing nonetheless here in Barcelona on a very stereotypical sunny Spanish day.
Indeed. And TSR Stig still looking very much unchallenged, 8/10ths clear of the rest of the field. Dynamic Carbon is closest challenger.
Group's got slipstream off of Rob here. He's only 3/10ths behind Jimmy. Can he set a faster time?
Indeed, he's using the HKS Vertigo car, a bit of a slipstream partner. But there's contact between the two, and that's Groot in the wall. That's heavy damage for Groot, and he does indeed have to reset to the pits. That was very odd, I would have thought, in terms of an incident.
We'll go on board with Jim. Can he make that 5/10ths up and get past Nilsman in the order? Through the chicane, down to the final corner. What can he do?
I don't quite think it's going to be... Oh, it is an improvement, but...
Oh, it is an improvement.
By 2/10ths, but not quite enough to close the gap. It's essentially half the gap that he did have to Nils, but that's still a 2/10th gap.
Yellow flags being waved on the start-finish straight for Stig. He's still pulled over by the marshals there. Looks like it's going to be the last lap for these cars. Can Carbon catch Stig?
Jimmy is green again in sector 1. Carbon is also coming up as he's just set a personal best lap. And Carbon actually has got the gap down a bit. It's now 6/10ths of a second to Stig, but Stig still looking extremely comfortable. I believe he has raced here quite recently actually, as Carbon's just gone purple in sector 1. Rob has gone round, indeed, there he is, facing the wrong way. That might have unsettled Carbon, but Carbon nonetheless purple in sector 1. But it seems that the Audi R8 might have a bit of an advantage coming into the middle and last sector where it gets a bit more twisty.
Go back to Carbon, doesn't seem rattled by that spin. He's using Alden's R8 to pull him down the straight. Maybe that will try and help the 6 or 7/10ths he needs to be faster. Alfred seemed to swerve across there. He's going to have to take the opposite line from the opposite track.
He's just gone off the escape road indeed. Carbon about 1/10.5 up on Stig's time. He just needs to keep it together. We're going to go on board with him so he comes through the last sector. I'm about to get prepared with the flag warning.
Sailor can't catch Carbon there. Can Carbon catch Stig?
Don't think it was the best of lines through the chicane. Indeed, he has lost a fair bit of time. And the flag... Yep, the flag has been called. So Carbon's actually on 1 extra lap. Stig still pulled off at the side of the track. What will everyone else be able to do? Where's Sailor in all this? Sailor currently 3rd. About a second off the pace of Stig.
Can Group make up 3/10ths and catch Bandit in mid-engined R8? Fujitsu machine. Clips the apex there, gets a little bump. Uses all the curve on the exit.
There's more yellow flags, and that's someone off of the gravel trap at turn 7, I want to say. And that is GRM Bandit, so he's pretty much just parked up at this point.
Can Carbon make up the 6/10ths? I can't speak. I'm sorry.
It's purple again. But then again, it's... Yeah, everyone's just parking up because they won't be able to improve their times. As Carbon has indeed lost a fair bit of time through Sector 2. And through Sector 3, it really does seem like the R8 of Stig is really set up quite well to handle the twisty sections. And Carbon has indeed just gone to the pit lane. Sailor crosses the line.
Bill's done second fastest, but that, I'm assuming that's because Carbon's in the pits.
Yep, that is indeed the case. So, with pretty much everyone finished up, I believe TSR Stig will be our pole sitter, and considering that he used less than half of the qualifying session in order to achieve that lap, he's certainly going to be looking to be the favourite going into this one to take the win.
Yeah, of course, if you can get a good launch on the start-finish straight. Pole is on the left side of the straight, so second can have the inside line. We'll have to see what happens. It's going to be a good race. Hopefully, we're going to hope to bring you guys some exciting racing. But it always is in DRL DTM.
Oh, absolutely. Just want to mention some of our viewers on the stream. Hello to Joe Witt, the greatest race engineer or chief engineer that there ever was. Hello to GTS Virtual Racers Club, backing, of course, the VRC lads here today. That'd be Alpha Nut and Groot. And also hello to TSR Motorsport. I believe that would be TSR Stig, who is our pole sitter here today. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, big congratulations to Stig there. Not using a lot of the qualifying session to get his pole, but nevertheless, I'll see if he can hold on to it through the race.
Now I'm just going to quickly go to the live timing screen just so we can see some of the times.
Got group finish and all that, but he seems to be going slowly.
I think he's just making his way around in order to get back to sector 2.
He's got engine damage.
Oh, has he?
Engine, wing and rear right suspension damage.
Indeed, that is the case. That's a good spot. Nevertheless, Groot, it currently says he's in 6th. That is probably subject to change as Carbon is still in the pits, I believe. Indeed he is. So Carbon, I believe, will be starting 2nd. So what will he be able to do from alongside TSR Stig on that inside line as you mentioned before?
Yeah, it can be very difficult to hold on to pole, as we saw in the F1 race a couple of weeks back. Bottas starting on pole and losing it on the first turn. But hopefully we have a much more exciting race than that one was.
I'm sure it'll be great. Of course, these drivers do provide some fantastic entertainment for us here in the booth. TSR Motorsport, so Stig in the chat dedicating his pole position to Niki Lauda, of course. Unfortunate tragedy of his death, of course, news to us over the week that we've had. So
Jimmy's getting his pre-race Tesco meal deal in.
Yes, big up Tesco. Please sponsor us, Tesco. We need sponsors. I need to be paid something by Carbon.
I have to run a Tesco livery.
Yes, Tesco main sponsorship. That'd be amazing.
Dynamic Racing League brought to you by Tesco.
Imagine that. That'd be amazing. Joe Witt actually saying he does indeed work for Tesco, so he could probably hook us up with a sponsorship. Come on, Joe.
25% off your meal deal if you can prove you're subscribed to the Dynamic Racing League YouTube channel.
Yes, use code DRL when you get to the checkout.
Use code DRL at checkout. Use code DRL20 for 20% off your next purchase.
Oh, this is fantastic. We're gonna have an absolute blast with this, I think.
Oh, Rob Frab, he's got to go.
Oh,
so it looks like we'll be down to 8 runners.
So after qualifying, then I believe he qualified last in the end. Because of course Carbon in the pits, but unfortunate to see the bright green machine of Rob and HKS Vertigo going. So I believe with Wybear not here, that's both HK's Vertigo car's no longer here, as we actually have a bit of a trade-off as King of Torque of Dynamic Esports has joined.
Back up to 9 runners here.
Yep, King of Torque, that would be teammate to Dynamic Carbon, who's on second row of the grid, but King of Torque, as per usual, running late and missing the qualifying, will have to start from the back of the grid. Last season, if I recall correctly, this wasn't exactly plain sailing for King in that race after coming together with Belvica going up towards turn 4. That was quite the incident, which I believe triggered Belvica's eventual leaving of the championship, which was unfortunate to see. TSR Jimmy in the chat saying big up Joe Witt. Indeed, big up Joe Witt, and of course big up to Jack Wilkinson on the cam, as he always is. Championship standings, we will get those shortly. If my phone can be bothered to work. So, driver standings in this championship, it's currently Dynamic Carbon on 45 points, who's in first place, but only 5 points behind on 40 is Sailor, and King of Torque is on 30. Fasten Lau, which is TSR Stigar Polster, is on 25 points, he's in 4th. Nils on 19 points in 5th. Jim Jam on 13 points in 6th. Gugas on 12 points in 7th. Ayrton Spanner, who had that amazing one-off appearance at Autopolis, he is in 8th on 12 points. Spinner Copen on 10 points, he's in 9th. I Am Groot on 8 points in 10th. Alpha Nut, 2 points back from his VRC teammate, he's on 6 points in 11th. GRM Bandit on 2 points in 12th, and Y-Bear with a singular point in 13th. And John Wandering isn't even classified. Can we have some F's in chat for John Wandering not being classified?
And we've got Sailor and Nilsman and enjoying their own little track on Barcelona here.
Yep. Using the MotoGP layout, or the old layout. Just sliding about.
We're almost ready to get underway. The race should be starting at 8:30.
Just to quickly run you through the Teams Championship as well, while we have a bit of time. It's Dynamic Esports with a healthy lead on 85 points in first position. Team Black Diamond is their closest challenger on 54 points in second. TSR Motorsport with the singular entry of TSR Stig, our Pulsar of course, still doing a fantastic job in third with the 25 points, although for some reason it says here that Nukeshot Motorsport has more points. They're on 30 points, and yet they are classified as 4th. So I'd assume that effectively Nukeshot Motorsport would be 3rd and TSR Motorsport would be 4th because of that. That might have to be cleared up at a later time. Team Spirit, of course, Spinner Copen, he's on 14 points. That's currently enough for 5th place. But then again, VRC, the Virtual Racers Club, on 17 points, and they are classified as 6th. So fair to say they're going to be 5th. Team Spirit 6th. TSR Racing will be 7th on 13 points. Moonshine Motorsport on 2 points, they're in 8th, and they're joint bottom with HK's Vertigo in 9th, also on 2 points. We're about to get racing. Here. Oh dear, I'm out of breath. So, TSR Stig, A+ driver rating on pole. It's going to be Dynamic Carbon lining alongside, and of course, what can Sailor do? The Team Black Diamond car. We're about to get racing here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Green, 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 and the cars are off. Bit of wheel spin, and that's a fantastic launch from Nils, it seems. Nils splitting in between two BMWs. That's the Team Black Diamond, and Groot's on the grass slightly with the outside wheels. He might be a bit of a hazard going into turn 1. They're 4 wide, heading into the apex. Nils has done a fantastic job, it seems. Big contact, Nils forced to go down the off ramp. This all like the escape road tarmac, and now he's dropped back down to 5th from that A very clean start from TSR Stig, it has to be said. He's already 1.8 seconds clear of Dynamic Carbon in second.
Talk seems to have had a great start going from the back to P4. This is on the back bumper of Sailor here. Into a turn, he might look for a move.
There was a massive slide in the back there from that was TSR Jimmy. He's managing to keep that Aston Martin under control. It's the BMW 2, 3 and 4, but it's an Audi leading the way and starting to break from the pack. Highest ranked Aston Martin is TSR Jimmy. As King is looking to the inside, and he gets it done. He's looking to the inside of his teammate as well. There's contact between all three of them. I'm just going to quickly look for damage. King of Talk saying he's sorry in the chat.
He seems to have let them all through as well.
Yep.
Sailor kicking up a bit of problem.
There's a bit more chaos. Jim Jam has got up to 4th from all that. Lucky that everyone avoided picking up mechanical damage through that section as they make their way through the chicane for the first time. And Jim Jam is coming under pressure again. King looking to the outside.
Stig's got a very commanding lead here, 4 seconds as he finishes his first lap. Here come the rest of the pack.
I Am Groot is gone into the pit lane. And that is indeed mechanical damage, front aero and front right suspension. We're going to go back to this battle for third and for third between the two Dynamic Esports teammates. They're scrapping away. King looking to the outside of turn 3, not working out for him.
TSR Jimmy, he looks like he's interested in joining the party very soon. In the Aston Martin.
Yep, Jim Jam doing a very good job, and King has indeed managed to get ahead of Carbon around the outside of turn 4 it was in the end of it. That's a fantastic job by the King of DTM. Well, second to King because I won last season, but we don't talk about that here. As Jim Jam is going down the inside of Carbon into turn 7, and he nearly makes this stick. Oh, massive slide from Jim Jam. And that's allowing Nils to come through on his inside, and Bandit's going to try and follow Nils as well. But it looks like Jim Jam has managed to hold on to it, and has picked up a penalty though for running a bit too wide. It would seem that's 0.5 seconds.
Sailor has a 0.3 second penalty.
Indeed, Sailor does have a penalty. He's being really caught up by the likes of King, but that's probably because he is serving that penalty as well. He's already got that down to 1/10. He's ghosting again, making their way through the chicane. Pretty much no overtaking can be done through here, but we have seen some crazy stuff before in this series.
Here they go down the straight. I'm going to go on board with King of Talk here. Can he outbrake, or can he get another slipstream? He's going to get alongside Sailor here.
He's going to have the inside line, which is going to be a fantastic advantage for him. Going to quickly just cut back to the outside footage as Sailor again just serving the rest of his penalty in the braking zone, and does indeed slot back into third. He's still trying to pressure him.
Jimmy's gone past Carbon, but he has got an 0.3 second penalty.
Yep, I'm just going to see if I can quickly get a replay of that. As actually it looked like Carbon was about to retake the position, so it looked like Jim Jam managed to get a run and go on the outside of turn 1.
Carbon's will be inside of Jimmy.
Yep, Jimmy's still going to be there just about going into turn 5. He's ghosted a bit because of the penalty, and they're still side by side, but there's a slip from Jimmy, and that's put him on the back foot in terms of momentum. He's trying to still
with Nils here. He's in a slipstream of Jimmy with slipstream of Carbon. He's coming down to the downhill straight.
Oh,
using all that curve there.
Again, Jimmy, very unstable it seems on corner exit as he went over the curb. Won't be able to have a run into the hairpin on this occasion. Still just serving a bit of his penalty as the car ghosts. Nils looking to capitalise. Nils currently 6th, which is the last points playing position.
See what's happening with Groot. That early pit stop's really done damage. We've got a 28 second gap to Bandit and rising. It's not looking like his race today, unfortunately.
It's also not looking like it's Alphanut's day either. He's 3.6 seconds behind Groot, and he's currently in last at this stage. So the Virtual Racers Club having a really difficult time of things. My only guess is that Alphanut also pitted early with damage. He's sliding about a bit. He's not seemed to be able to get the kind of setup advantage that the likes of Stig has managed to. What's the gap between Stig and King? It is currently 6.2 seconds.
Carbon seems to be pulling away from Jimmy as he gets rid of that penalty there. He's also gaining on Sailor.
Yep,
Can he get back in the battle for a podium?
Carbon just about broken the slipstream that Jimmy would have been getting, so Jimmy might be coming under a bit of pressure as well. It also looks like for 7th and 6th, there's Bandit going down the inside of turn 5, and he does indeed get that job done. Just about caught that live on my screen. You might want to cut to a replay on yours if you just about missed it.
Nah, I've missed it there. He's ran onto the gravel.
He's picked up a penalty. It's a 0.5 second penalty for GRM Bandit.
Nils passing him. Nils going to try it around the outside maybe. It's close. Bandit's going to hold on, it seems. No, Nils gets the job done, rubs the penalty in.
Yep, good racing room between the two of them. Fantastic respect shown. Bandit perhaps looking to dive down the inside opts to just serve a bit more of his penalty. And indeed the penalty is gone.
A 0.2 second penalty.
Yep, Sailor still.
Like it's gonna be enough,
Sailor still not choosing to serve that penalty. He's on a bit of an island at the moment. 2.5 seconds to King, 1.7 to Carbon.
TSR Stiggy's having a very comfortable race here, 5-second gap and rising against King of Torque there.
Purple again in sector 1. Be interested to monitor the tyre wear actually compared to some of the other cars, because the R8 being mid-engine might be a bit more slippery and use its tyres a bit more. We're going to quickly compare. We're only 5 laps into the race on this occasion, and in fact it seems that the R8 is having a fair bit better tyre wear than the BMW M6 of King. It's probably because...
Yeah, look, it seems to have about 80% fuel left there. I'm on board with him here.
Yeah, it's probably the front engine nature of the car and these heavy braking zones we have at Catalunya that are really affecting the front tyres on the front engine cars. Wouldn't surprise me if the Astons are having the same issue.
Yeah, that big heavy V12 in the Aston Martins going to be putting a big amount of stress on the tyres. But we'll see what the pit strategies will be. See how they unfold throughout this race.
Carbon's still trying to close up to Sailor. Still not in the slipstream just yet, but he is certainly gaining, especially on the straight. He seemed to get a fair bit of better exit going out of turn, but the last corner. So heading down into turn 1, there's about a 1.1 second gap.
Carbon's trying to do all he can to get within slipstream range of Sailor. It may not be good enough.
I will have to see. The M6 has been known to be very good in terms of downforce levels, so in terms of the quartering ability through these twisty sections, it might be enough to put him in slipstream range going onto the straight at the end of sector 2.
Yeah, if he can get within that 0.8, that's where really start to feel the effects of the slipstream. And he is in that range.
Indeed. Of course, Sailor in the BMW M6 as well, so it is pretty much an even playing field. It's all down to setups, and look at this, he's really caught up through that sector. Does Sailor have damage? No, they don't. I'm just going to go to a rear wing camera shot on Sailor's car, so we watch Carbon gain in the slipstream.
I'm on a hood camera shot of Carbon. Oh, seems to be some early downshift there. He kept it in the corner there, clipped the apex as he loses a bit of grip. We're coming to this section. Will Carbon make a move? We'll have to see. Can be very difficult to overtake in these really sharp 90-degree corners.
He's gaining quite a lot though, being late on the brakes, perhaps picking that up from his teammate King of Torque. And he is going to be well within the slipstream range and even has a better run out of the last corner than Sailor, so he might be able to do something. Sailor weaving a bit, trying to break the slipstream. Can't weave again, otherwise there'll be a breach of regulations. And I don't think he'll be quite close enough. No, not close enough on that occasion. But he is gaining. I'm gonna cut back.
Yeah, Sailor.
Cut back to the
feeling
cinematic.
Carbon's breath on his rear bumper.
He's certainly looking a lot closer than he was. And this is the section that Carbon did gain quite a lot of time over Sailor on the last lap.
Sailor using on the curve there.
Heading up towards the uphill chicane. And again...
Looks like he's definitely going to try and make a move down this downhill straight here.
Surely the slipstream's going to be enough. Carbon actually has a very good run out of the last corner compared to Sailor's. And he's already looking to the inside. Backs out of it. It's an interesting strategy, just looking to stay behind for now, maybe just put on the pressure.
Maybe saving it for the start-finish straight. You never know.
Although it is very difficult to follow through the last section with the chicanes. But again, Carbon, we've seen he's very fast through that section.
Yeah, maybe clipping the bumps on the apex isn't the best strategy. It seems to be losing some people time. Sailor's weaved twice there.
Yeah, that's just about within regulations. And again, Carbon now actually looking for a dive bomb. Is he? No. Just putting himself in the mirrors of Sailor. Just hoping that Sailor will make a mistake sooner or later from there. He's not willing to risk it at this stage of the race, being lap 8 of 35. But he is actually going to look down the inside as he had a bit of a run going through turn 3. He's on the inside line.com. And he does indeed manage to muscle his way through. Great move from Carbon.
Yeah, finally gets the job done there. Brilliant racecraft.
So that is Carbon up into 3rd place in this race. So both Dynamic Esports cars on the podium. We've still got quite a lot of the race to go.
Black Diamond pit crew, no doubt, be a bit frustrated with their driver there. But he's still within slipstream range. A place on the podium is still all to play for. Lap 8 of 35. He gets a good run out of that corner there, into the uphill chicane.
Ooh, massive slide again.
Slide.
It just seemed like Sailor was also understeering a bit going through that last corner, but through here again, just trying to line himself up.
Gonna get on board with Sailor here as they go down to the start-finish straight. Calvin seems to get out of there a lot faster there. Slipstream is going to close down the gap a little bit.
Carbon not weaving and trying to break the slipstream as Sailor was on previous attempts, but now he's sort of moving across the track, defending the middle line. He is doing. He's gone down the inside just about, but doesn't manage to carry the momentum. Just trying to set himself up to turn 3, I think. Oh, nearly clipping the marbles.
We're going to go to a rear wing camp here with Dynamic Carbon.
That is a fantastic idea. These two the closest on track at this particular stage in the race.
Just as you say that, the gap seems to be extending a little bit.
Yep, the dirty air not really having that good of an effect to Sailor's car. He'll be feeling that for the first time in a little bit.
Let's check back on our pulse at a TSR Stig. 8.5 second lead on King of Torque. Doesn't seem to have much tyre wear issues on the soft compound. He's
really gaining a lot of time. I think King might have picked up damage or something. It seemed to go from 8 or so seconds, as you said, to 9, 10. He's really losing a lot of time. It's nearly 10 seconds now, the gap between King of Torque and TSR Stig.
He doesn't have much damage, but that front left tyre seems to be taking a bit more wear than most of the other cars.
Indeed, the R8, with it being mid-engine, is a bit more balanced, it would seem, for this particular circuit, and doesn't wear the front tyres as much. I believe Joe Witt mentioned in the chat on the YouTube stream that is mainly, was it the front left? Yep, the front left. That seems to be wearing the most through this circuit. Certainly seeming to be the case. The gap continuing to increase. And TSR Stig, we've got to remember, he did have quite a lot of pace over the rest of the field in qualifying, so this kind of a gap, no doubt also due to pace, as well as just getting the setup right.
Yeah, Carbon seems to be getting further and further away from Sailor. Might even make it out of the slipstream range.
Yeah, it looks like he's also catching up to his teammate.
Our Sailor's hopes of the podium start fading away soon. It might be. He's out of slipstream range.
With 25 laps to go though, there's still a lot of race to run. I believe there's still a mandatory pit stop that everyone has to serve. And it is a very long race as well. That's interesting. I've just noticed it's TSR Jimmy who is up into 5th, so that's an Aston Martin doing very well, and also kicking up a bit of gravel in the back with a 0.2 second penalty. GRM Bandit in the final points playing position in 6th. So Bandit's actually doing a fairly good job despite having that little bit of a penalty. He's got a 3.2 second gap to Nilsman behind, but doing a very solid job with that recently acquired setup for that Aston Martin.
Carbon's gaining a lot of time on his teammate in the mission winner dynamic esports car. Just getting closer and closer. He's not within slipstream range.
None of these three are currently in the slipstream range of the car ahead.
And Sailor is.
He's closed up in braking. Slipstream is approximately 7/10, so if it's 8/10, then it won't be really feeling the effect on the real slipstream mode, at least from what I've picked up on from my previous streams. It might be a little bit of an effect. Still really staggering to find out about Formula 1 and how the dirty air effect apparently goes 5 seconds back. That is absolutely staggering to me.
Oh, Talks on the grass, he's going to lose a lot of time there. Well, Carbon's on the attack now, we're going to go on board with him as he battles to get onto that second step of the podium. Are they going to trade positions, two teammates? What's the strategy going to be?
If King does start holding Carbon up, then that brings Sailor back into play as well, but I'm sure they're going to allow these two to fight. Actually, as soon as I say that, King seems to just leave the door wide open for Carbon on the inside line, and does indeed let him through.
Well, Sailor's in the party now as well. He's got 2 second, not a 2 second penalty, sorry.
Yeah, still hasn't served that. It's just gone down, and indeed he has just served that as soon as I say it. So fair play to him.
We're on board with him as we go down to the start-finish straight. Is Talk going to fall off of the podium here?
I think because Talk is in the slipstream of Carbon, I think he'll be safe from a dive bomb on this occasion. Although King is looking to go around the outside of his teammate. Doesn't quite work out on that occasion. Carbon brakes just about late enough. Oh, and that's actually put Sailor back into the mix, looking to go down the inside of turn 3. Hasn't worked out. And King is on the marbles a little bit understeering. Still seeming to carry the pace.
The battle of the BMWs in Barcelona.
Many B's here today. Can we have some B's in chat instead of F's?
Can we have some alliteration in chat?
Big boy BMW's battle. Barcelona. Brilliant.
Are they going to trade places once again? Talk and Carbon.
It's a fantastic duel we've been seeing between these three. We also saw them duel, of course, yesterday at Blue Moon Bay on the tri-oval course, as King does indeed look to the inside of his teammate yet again, so he's not just given up the position for nothing. But these three, fairly experienced with racing each other at this point, it has to be said. All BMWs, so of course, pretty much level playing field besides setups.
Let's check back on GMA and P5. Got fairly decent gap to Bandit behind a 6 second. We'll see what's happening with Bandit. Bandit with a 2.5 second gap to Nilsman. Nilsman with a 45 second gap to Groot. Groot with a 4 second gap to Alphanut.
As King again is looking, but backs out on that occasion from the fight with his teammate. With nearly an overtake, and now King again looking to the outside line. He's just about got his nose there. Can't carry enough speed, it would seem, to get a bit of an overrun. Maybe breaking into turn 4. It's where he did have an incident last season, of course, was going into turn 4. No incident on this occasion. Contrasting lines yet again between the two teammates as Carbon takes a tighter line through turn 4. We've got School of Team Black Diamond, I assume, in the chat, cheering on Sailor, who's currently in 4th. We also have Joe Witt in the chat saying, big BMWs battle beautifully between banterous boys. So, fantastic alliteration. Yep. Looking for the Max Verstappen cutback, as there's contact between him and Sailor as he attempts it, but all seems to be okay. Probably too light of contact to pick up damage. I'll quickly check in. Indeed, both cars fine.
No damage on cars there. We'll go on board with torque on the start-finish straight with the heads-up display. You see the speed, he's past 75% on his fuel consumption there.
Yep.
Let's see what happens.
He's only getting a run on his teammate, and this is definitely going to be a challenge from him. And he doesn't bump the back bumper, he's going to be alongside. Going to quickly cut back to cinematics so we can actually see a view of this, and indeed just sweeps around the outside of his teammate with what seems to be relative ease, thanks to the slipstream.
Groot might be looking for Alphanut. The gap's whittled down to 2.5 seconds. Or 1.5 seconds.
It was Alphanut who was behind Groot earlier in this race. It's Groot that seemed to be gaining a little bit of time earlier, but Alphanut now ahead in the Virtual Racers Club battle.
Yeah, we've got Torque seems to be pulling away from his teammate.
Yeah, he seems to have dropped the hammer. Oh, understeering. Oh, that could have nearly been the end of it. That was absolutely incredible stuff. I'm gonna quickly get a replay of that. Here it was just understeering on exit. Fantastically well held by King of Torque.
Yeah, if it was absolutely incredible steer.
If it was a certain Greek driver that I know, it would have definitely gone round, but King of Torque managing to hold on to it. Cough cough, CJ cough cough.
Got dynamic carbon. He's not going to get a run on his teammate.
No, he's just outside of the 7/10 slipstream range, as you can see. So he's not really gaining on him at this stage. Sailor's dropped 1.8 seconds back. So the field's starting to spread out a fair bit more. Behind these guys it's even more spread out. Quickly checking with TSR Stig, he's going through turn 4. Not quite close enough to be catching Alphanut and Groot, who are at the back of the field, in order to lap them, but might be a bit later on in the race. At the moment he's happy with the clean air and the fantastic weather that we're having, of course, at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.
We've got King of Torque getting further and further away from his teammate in that wonderful red, black and white mission winner M6.
Indeed.
Of course, DTM only allowing BMW, Audi and Aston Martin GT3 cars. The DTM regulations. He almost clips the gravel once again.
Yeah, of course, last season we didn't have Aston Martin, it was Mercedes. Much like real life DTM, but Mercedes is now gone and replaced with Aston Martin, so hence the switch. King now looking a bit slidey.
Little power slide.
One thing I've noticed with King and his driving style is he does tend to brake a lot later than some of the other guys, and therefore wears his front tyres out a lot faster. To quickly compare his tyres to the tyres of his teammate. Yeah, you can really see. You can really see the difference as I switch between the two of them. Indeed, going on board with Carbon now. Sailor is actually into the pits, so Sailor going in. His bright yellow pit crew about to service him. Where's he going to rejoin? It's going to be the first of the scheduled pit stops in this race on lap 15.
Yeah, almost halfway through this race. Wheel straight back on. Straight back out.
No fuel.
Bit of a battered front end.
And he's going to be in clear air, but he rejoins in 7th outside the points. But everyone ahead of him, of course, will have to make that mandatory pit stop.
Could it be a strategy call from the pit wall?
It could be an undercut.
Early.
It could be an undercut in order to get ahead of both of them.
Another decent drift there from Torque. He holds it in, just showing us his skill there.
I'm gonna quickly get a replay of that then, because I missed that on my screen. So it was the exit. Indeed, a little bit of a slide on the exit of turn 5. Manages to hold it quite well.
Check on TSR Jimmy in the white and blue Aston Martin. He's coming down.
He's currently in 4th, of course, because Sailor came into the pit. So it'll be interesting to see if Jim Jam also tries a bit of an undercut on the cars ahead to just try and close that gap. Will anyone else be coming in on this occasion? It looks like it's getting a bit close again up ahead between King and Carbon.
Yeah, he's definitely got a bit of a run there. Is he going to get within that 0.7 range?
Yep, he is. It's not going to be enough in order to challenge into turn 1 unless he has a Daniel Ricciardo inspired dive bomb, but it's certainly going to help him close up.
We're at halfway through round 7 of the DTM Championship.
He, of course, here on Dynamic Racing Leagues on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks to all of our viewers who have been tuning in. There's currently 6 viewers on the YouTube stream. How many are on Twitch?
We've got about 3 on Twitch over here. We've got no messages in chat, but that's all good. As long as you guys are enjoying the racing, then I'm happy. Jockeyo's happy. It's all good.
There was a mistake from King of Torque, and that's allowed Carbon to go back through.
I didn't see that. I'm going to have to get a replay of that.
Yep, they're still just banging doors a little bit, still going side by side. King of Torque now looking back in the slipstream. Can't do anything coming up to the hairpin. Again, extremely cautious as they make their way through the last sector. It's looking actually like I'm assuming that's the battle for 8th. That's coming alive again between Groot and Alpha. No, as that's
going into the pits.
Carbon is indeed in the pits now, so he's going for that bit of an undercut. Indeed, Groot managing to get out ahead of Alpha Nut again. So this scrap's still continuing to throw up surprises as well. So Jim Jam coming across. Nils also in the pits. We now watch Carbon's car being serviced. He's on his way out. He's going to rejoin in 6th.
And just hear tyres wailing there on Torque's car.
So Carbon rejoins in 5th actually, so he's ahead of Sailor by quite a margin. So Sailor's undercut hasn't seemed to work out for him. Where does Nils rejoin? Nils rejoins in 7th. About 15 seconds back.
Tyre wear. Not looking too good on the front left.
Yeah, of course, Joe Witt did mention in the chat on the YouTube stream that that is mainly the tyre that seems to be taking a lot of the punishment, as Bandit a bit slidey on exit, and it looks like he's being caught by Dynamic Carbon on that fresh rubber.
Yeah, let's check back on our pulse. TSR Stig has been an incredibly
he's coming in.
race as he goes into the pits.
Stig is into the pits on lap 18. He's got quite a comfortable gap, but with King of Torque just coming through the last sector, it'll be interesting to see if he comes in or if he stays out. He stays out. So will King be able to get ahead of Stig?
Stig only just gotten into his spot in the pitch. He's straight back out on a fresh set.
And it is indeed going to be King of Torque.
Torque goes by.
So King of Torque still yet to serve that mandatory pit stop. However, he is temporarily in the lead of the race.
Carbon's back in 3rd as Bandit, and Jimmy fall down the order due to pit stops. Sailor's back P4. Still all to play for in this race.
Now the question is, how long does Dynamic Esports leave King of Torque out for on that rubber? Because all the cars behind him have pretty much made their pit stops and will be gaining on him.
Yeah, his pit wall will probably be telling him maybe pit in the next 1 to 5 laps. Maybe he's, let's check on his tyre wear. Yeah, his front tyres seem to be taking quite a beating. We'll see what happens.
That would certainly be affecting pace as he picks up a 0.4 second time penalty. That is really not going to help his chances. Now you also see in the background that is the bright purple and blue Dakwa machine of TSR Stig. It's coming up behind him, who's already made his pit stop. So King's race from going relatively smoothly, really being hindered by this penalty. He serves it, just gets it out of the way before going through the last little section of the chicane, and surely will he pit this lap, or will he choose to stay out, maybe try and hinder Stig? No, he does indeed pit, and he stays within the line, so no infringement there for King of Torque.
Stig his P1 back.
Indeed, TSR Stig retakes the lead of this race.
Now what's going to happen between Torque and Carbon on the exit of the pitch? He's coming in now onto his fresh set of tyres.
Yep, Carbon is just going past the timing line, and I think Carbon will just about have it. It's going to be close between them. There you see them, and I think it is going to be Carbon with the overspeed who does indeed take 2nd place. But what can Sailor do? Can Sailor have a bit of a run? No, I think he's a bit too far back on this occasion. Those 3 BMWs quite evenly spaced out. King sliding a bit, trying to put some heat into their tyres, but there should be the best in terms of lasting as long as possible. There's another bit of a scrap going on a bit further back actually. That is, if you cut to 6th, you can see it's GRM Bandit and Nilsman, who are extremely close on track, and Bandit with a 0.8 second penalty.
We'll go on board with Nilsman scrapping for the last point scoring place on the field. Bandit's got a 0.8 penalty. Can he hold off the yellow and chrome rattling machine of Nilsman? We'll have to see.
No commercial breaks here, of course. This is commercial-free racing here on the Dynamic Racing League channel. Of course, any sponsors would be very much appreciated. We need paying at some point, Carbon, let's be honest. And
Nilsman's wheels have disappeared on my screen. Oh, they're back. Right.
Temporarily, the no-wheeled strategy, temporarily reducing some ballast on his car, but of course,
I must say it's a very interesting tyre saving technique.
Indeed.
Talk's getting a bit slidey there. Sailor's going to get the run on him. It's got to be an overtaking opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got a bump on the back of Talk.
All over
We'll
the track.
with him. He's going to look for it. He is.
Bit of a penalty. He's gone down the inside line.com. King of Talk will be looking to try something.
It looks like he's got the job done there.
Good stuff between those two.
Yeah, considering the wheel-to-wheel racing we've had in these 21 laps, it's actually quite good. We haven't had a major incident so far.
I wouldn't say that just yet. There's a bit of onion barges going off between Sailor and King of Talk. King of Talk now back up into third after a fantastic display of driving and racecraft through that sector 2 opening section of corners.
I'm going to go back on board with Sailor once again. We see him getting a bit slider.
Alpha Nut into the pits.
In the pits.
So they already have served pit stop. That was mainly to repair damage earlier on in the stint, so this will be just for the tyre change.
Yeah, he seems to have enough of a lead on his teammate group there as he's coming into the chicanes. He's coming in onto his fresh set now.
GRM Bandit is now actually ahead of Nilsman, so I'm gonna see if I can.
Still on there.
I'm gonna quickly see if I can get a replay of this. No, unfortunately, Bandit's gonna kill me for that, missing an overtake. But nevertheless, GRM Bandit is up into 6th place. Or was he actually ahead anyway? I think Bandit was ahead anyway, and it was Nils putting the pressure on. I can't remember. I have a memory of a sieve.
No. Yeah, I think that is the situation.
Right, so the order stayed the same, but it's
Sailor's losing a lot of time to King.
Indeed.
Here.
I think
King's pulling away from his teammate.
King has finally managed to switch his tyres on, I think, with putting the heat in after the pit stop, and now he's starting to find his rhythm, and is perhaps starting to catch up to Carbon as Carbon's tyres start to wear as we come to the latter stages of the race.
We have 13 laps left in this competition.
And it is still race leader TSR Stig, who has a 0.1 second penalty, but he doesn't really have to worry about that at this stage. Commanding lead of 18 seconds, nearly 19 seconds. It's been absolute domination from him so far.
A very comfortable race. He was behind for a while, but he seems to have got the race back under control. He's kept his composure. I'm sure his pit wall will be very happy with his result if he can hold on to it. It looks like he's going to. But there's still 12 laps left in this race. Could something catastrophic happen?
I mean, let's hope not, because that would be really unfortunate. Bandit still having to defend from Nilsman. That's the battle for 6th. Probably the closest on track now that Carbon and King's and Sailor's little scrap seems to have dissipated a little bit in this stage. They're coming through the chicane in the last sector, going on to what will be lap 23.
Carbon can just about see that bright pink Fujitsu car of Groot.
They'll be coming up to lap him then.
With blue flags waved from the marshals soon enough.
So Nils,
personal best.
Nils is going down the inside of Bandit into turn 1. Gets the move done well before the braking zone. If you just missed it, you might want to quickly get a replay of it. That's 6th. So Nils now up a position. Good stuff. Of course, I'm happy with that because Nils is driving for my team and Bandit isn't, despite being a friend of mine.
And Nils' wheels have once again disappeared on my screen.
They're still fine on mine. Maybe it's just happening at that one part of the track. It seems to be the same part of the track that
Actually,
it keeps happening.
He's got his right wheels, he hasn't got his left.
He's become a motorbike. Well, we did see similar tactics actually from BRT James in the Super Formula race yesterday, where he essentially became a unicycle for the entirety of race 1. And he certainly seemed to do alright until he pitted and unfortunately just got the strategy wrong from there. Or was that race 2? I can't remember. Again, my memory is like a sieve. But anyway, fantastic battling again, and it would seem that now Nils has gotten ahead of Bandit. He's starting to open up the gap between him and the American.
It looks like Carbon's soon going to be lapping Groot.
Yep, Groot just pulls off to the side. Yep, fair play to Groot for that. It's a very John Wandering display.
Best once again.
Now,
there's blue flags out.
Now, when will Groot get out of the way of King of Talk? Will be the question. It would seem right now. And will he also... No, I think he's going to continue through a little bit of the section before Sailor catches up. Doesn't want to compromise this race entirely. Perhaps on the upcoming straight, will he let him through? Who knows? So, just over 10 laps to go in this one. Some fantastic racing we've seen so far. Still TSR Stig that leads. It's King of Talk, surprisingly, who has the fastest lap, despite TSR Stig's pace that we've seen from him. So it's a 143.205 from the King of DTM.
I've got Carbon still very fast. He wasn't a personal best. Can he set the fastest lap of the race so far?
It's going to be close. 1, 2, 3. It's not quite enough.
Oh.
About 7/10 off, but only 0.02 off of setting his personal best.
There's blue flags once again. He's good. He should be letting Sailor through.
I think Sailor's a bit too far back on this occasion. Maybe he'll go to the outside group will of turn 3. Oh no, he lets him through there. Fair play to him.
He might get a penalty for that.
He might actually, yeah. Oh, there's a massive slide.
Massive slide.
I'm gonna get a replay of that. That was some epic stuff from VRC Group. Let's just see if we can catch that again.
Yeah, a huge drift from Group.
Was that intentional? It looks intentional.
It did look intentional.
That was amazing stuff from Group. Fantastic stuff.
Especially in a mid-engined GT3 car that's been tuned for racing. It just does a DK and sends the back end out.
That was absolutely amazing. Next we'll be seeing like reverse angle entries and such from Group going into the hairpin or something. Who knows what we'll see.
You should send a 720 entry down and start finish straight.
There's fantastic stuff from Group, just showboating a little bit to the fans, while not, of course, hindering the race of others. Always good to see.
Talk seems to be gaining on his teammate.
Yeah, King of Talk once again just putting the hammer down and is indeed finding quite a bit of pace in his car. Carbon seeming to have a little bit of a better run through the chicane. So King won't be in slipstream on this occasion. Fantastic engine notes, it has to be said, from the BMWs. And all the cars, it also has to be said. The V12 of the Aston Martin, the V10 of the R8s, and the V8 Rumble of the BMW M6s, of course.
Yeah, Nelson still missing his left wheels.
He's fine on my screen, so everyone watching on YouTube probably thinks you're crazy, but that's fine.
All the more reasons, come and check us out on Twitch.
Of course, check us out on both platforms. It's going to be DTM till the end of the season, I believe, going to be broadcast on Twitch as well as YouTube. I believe Super Formula won't be on Twitch due to you, of course, competing there, as Bandit copying what Group did earlier. Just going to quickly go back to position 7, get a replay on this. Just seeming to do a bit of a slide McGee. Slide McGee's through turn 3. Again, just running wide onto the marbles, and that one didn't look intentional, it has to be said, but nonetheless some great entertainment.
Yeah, let's see here on my replay. Alright, I think my replay messed up a bit. My apologies.
That's fine. These things happen.
Oh, and Talk's gonna get a run. He's within that slipstream effectiveness range.
I'm gonna go to a rear wing shot. I'm gonna go rear wing shot on Carbon's car. His last lap was a 143.760. I don't think King's gonna be close enough on this occasion. Oh, he closed up massively. He's gonna be very close, but not enough to make a move. A little bit of a slip, perhaps. Dirty air should be having a massive effect through turn 3, I would have thought. The never-ending right-hander. Again, just sticking his nose in. Clips a bit of the grass on the inside, but doesn't seem to unsettle the car that much.
Yeah, very close once again in the braking zones.
Oh!
Is Carbon going to let his teammate through?
King seemed to have a bit of a poor exit with putting the power down a bit too early. That sent him towards the inside and lost him a bit of time, but he's going to be well tucked into the slipstream of his teammate as they make their way down the straight in the middle of the circuit.
Go to a rear wing cam with dynamic Carbon. He's not going to make a move.
He's doing.
Looking for the inside.
There's a little bit of contact there between the front fender and rear bumper, but nothing in terms of mechanical damage caused by that. Again, King looking a bit slippery with the lack of downforce coming through at the chicane. I'm going to go back to the regular camera view, the exterior camera view.
Oh, it's a fantastic run there from Talk.
He's absolutely super glued to the back of him.
Definitely going to go for a move.
He's pulled out the slipstream a bit early in my opinion, so it's going to be very close. And a battle of the brakes. Carbon will have the outside. King
seems to have pulled away from him.
Yep.
Not risking any accident there.
Yep. Respectful racing between the two teammates. And is King of Torque, who has managed to fight his way back up into second place. Carbon looking to the inside, is he? Nope, not on that occasion. Just putting himself in the mirrors again, putting the pressure on. Of course, the last thing these two guys want is to have an accident and collide with each other, because they're both on the podium at this stage.
Yeah, both on the team as well. It'd be good points for the teams, but the drivers are always going to want more points for themselves. That is, of course, if you are selfish. But we'll have to see what unfolds here. Hopefully there's not an incident. Hope there isn't an incident. It's good content. But
I just noticed it's go to car 9, and there was a replay that I needed to see. It looked like it was Groot who seemed to get it a bit wrong. He's actually, no, he was just doing a bit more showboating with the sliding as he went through turn 5. So my concerns were pretty much lifted from that. Blue flags out as these guys...
Carbon's getting into that slipstream effectiveness range.
He's had a fantastic run compared to King of Torque, let alone with the slipstream. King is going to force him to go to the outside line, though he covers the inside quite well. Will he try and do a bit of a Rosberg squeeze towards the outside with King? He doesn't really need to.
Seem to be letting him through.
Fantastic racecraft by King of Torque, has to be said, to block the optimal line and yeah, just defend that position extremely fairly and extremely effectively. But Carbon
going wheel to wheel almost.
Carbon again looking to the inside, not finding enough room on that occasion. King not using all the exit. There's one car that I've just noticed completely alone on track. in the last sector, it is our race leader, TSR Stig, who is about to come through the last little chicane section and go on to what will be lap 30 of 35 here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. So the race coming to a conclusion. Not quite yet, still got a little bit of a way to go, and anything can happen, of course. Things are certainly looking good for him.
Looks like there might be another move on the starting straight. Hits a bump, almost goes airborne.
Oh, King absolutely tucked into the slipstream again. This has to be something. Well, King's actually fallen back behind Carbon, so Carbon managed to get ahead somewhere within that either second or third sector. And King
make a move around the outside.
That's good. Switch to the inside for turn 2. Great move by King of Torque again. And again, fantastic dueling between the two teammates. Seems to be a running theme throughout Dynamic Racing Leagues, is these two having absolutely fantastic scraps with each other.
Yeah, it does seem that way. There might be a bit of team strategy there as well. I'm seeing in the early stages of the races, letting each other through. But it seems to be a bit more of a driver standing battle from now on, with 5 laps remaining. Let's see how these 5 laps unfold and see who comes out on the second step of the podium. Let's check back in on our race leader, TSR Stig, 21.5 second lead. Looks like it's going to be a very comfortable win for him. We have the crowd cheering him on as he comes through the chicane in the final corner.
I just noticed on the track map something happened, but that was just Alpha Nut going to the outside line of the hairpin, just going off the track and allowing the battle for second to continue. So fair play to Alpha Nut for that. We've seen Groot as well. So both drivers of the Virtual Racers Club, very sporting in terms of just staying out of the way as they are lapped. And King of Torque will be under pressure again as they come down the straight.
We're on board with Carbon once again. He's going to move to the inside line.
Yep. King doesn't defend the inside like he did on previous occasions. There's contact between the two of them.
Wow, I just got a burst of 8 viewers.
Amazing stuff.
Quality.
Unbelievable scenes on the Twitch stream. Of course, welcome to all of you that recently just joined.
We're 4 laps away from a finish here. The 2 teammates battling it out for the second step of the podium. What's it going to be? Is it going to be Carbon or Torque? Another 2 viewers joining the stream now. Join just at the optimal time.
Yeah, we've seen some fantastic action through all parts of the field, but mainly this battle for second, it has to be said, as this Alpha Nut. Alpha Nut's gone off in the back, they're on the grass. We're going to quickly see if I can get a replay on that. That's caught in 8th. So what happened here? Just unsettled on the curb, and then it just kept on oversteering.
23 viewers.
23 viewers, that's more than I've ever had on the YouTube stream. Having you around certainly managed to improve our viewership. Fantastic stuff. Well, welcome to all 23 of you.
Wow. And here we go. Carbon will go on board with him for the second time in 2 laps.
King.
Torque's going to move all the way to the inside.
Yep, he's doing what I said he should have done on the last occasion and just hold the inside line. Now, in theory, he should be moving over to the left in order to squeeze Carbon's angle. Indeed, he does so a little bit, and he does indeed hold the position quite nicely.
Looks like the 2 teammates aren't really looking for team points now. They're looking for themselves, looking for them driver points. It's going to be close.
With that healthy gap that they have down to the second place in the team standings, you got to think that they really are just focused as we come to the final few races of the season on just outright drivers' points. King of Torque has been really hit hard with penalties as Carbon, as King rather, that just had a bit of a slide out of turn 5. But yeah, King has really been hit hard with some time penalties in the last few races, mainly due to track limits and pit lane white line crossings and such. So that's really taken away some of the points that he would have got otherwise from that. So he's trying to fight for every single point that he can in order to get back up the order.
It's going to be the same story from the Irishman on the start-finish straight. Is he going to get another run on Torque through the chicanes and out of the last turn? Can he get the job done this time?
It's looking like King has found a little bit extra pace on this occasion. He's about a second ahead as they exit the chicanes. And indeed, I think he's broken the slipstream. I think King has made his break for it.
Yeah, it seems King's getting away from him now. Could that be it? 2 laps remaining of the DRL DTM round 7 here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.
Technically 3 laps remaining because we just started lap 33, but it's fine, it's fine. It's so easy to get that wrong because you see 33/35 and then you're like, oh, there's 2 laps to go. But yeah, that's something you'll eventually pick up as that's someone going off at the chicane. Who was that? I'll see if I can find it. It was Groot, so that's Cam 9. Or currently 9th place. It seemed like they just oversteered. That didn't look intentional on the exit of the chicane.
Oh, Carbon's made that time straight back up to Torque. Can he get a move done on the downhill straight?
This is surely going to be an attempt at least from Carbon. Going to go to a rear wing cam on King's car. Of course, 16 on his racing helmet, 98 on his car. Again, still don't get why that's the thing, but fair enough. Maybe he's a Charles Leclerc fan.
Yeah,
but
I think
also
he's
has
a Charles Leclerc.
Maybe he also just has his own racing number as well, of course. So again, Carbon. Oh, you see the flames coming out the side exhaust of the M6 as they slow down and change down a gear going into the chicane.
On board, turf gets kicked up on the apex of the final turn from Torque. And here we go, the gap whittling down once again.
King goes defensive.
Block the inside.
And Carbon wisely just backs out of it on that occasion. Didn't have quite enough of a run.
Be careful watching marbles. Try not to lose grip. You don't want to lose grip now. Close to the end of the race.
Carbon looking to the inside of turn 4. Not quite. These guys currently have 11 seconds back, or 11 seconds ahead rather of Sailor, who's in 4th, so they're relatively comfortable in terms of probably not going to lose that amount of time in the last 2 laps just by scrapping it out.
Unless the Carbon once again to go the uphill chicane.
Of course, unless they do have an incident, but let's of course hope that isn't the case. Joe Witt in the chat saying Carbon needs to commit to passing around the outside of turn 1. We have indeed seen King do some moves on the outside of turn 1. It is certainly possible. That's why the outside line is actually the pole sitting grid slot, I believe, because you can carry more speed on the outside line as Carbon. Massive slide from Dynamic Carbon, the Irishman, but also massive slide from King of Torque
as well.
Both of these guys finding their limits and then going a little bit beyond them as we come on to the last lap of this race here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for Dynamic Racing League's DTM. Season 2, of course. King being slipstreamed.
He doesn't seem like he's close enough to make a move.
Not on this occasion. Carmen's going to have to try and stick with King through the Sector 1 and then the first bit of Sector 2 leading onto that straight in the middle of the circuit, and I think that might be his last chance is outbraking him there. He's actually managed to get to the inside of turn 4. He's going for broke. There's a little bit of contact. King very nearly on the grass and could have lost it, but no. Carbon manages to get through. King's back down the inside again. King fighting for all his life. Carbon just clipping the gravel, and King is back in front after a fantastic skirmish between the two. This is juicy, juicy stuff.
Unbelievable.
What can Carbon do now? He's super glued again to the back bumper of King of Talk. Surely he's going to attempt something going into the hairpin in Sector 3. He's looking to the inside.
He's going for it.
Oh, has he outbroke himself? He has! And that's allowed King to get through. Carbon's outbroke himself.
Well, let's check on TSR Stig.
It is going to be TSR Stig who is winning here today at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. I can't speak. Congratulations to TSR Stig, a fantastic drive.
Congratulations, big slide from Talk.
Will it be enough though? I think King of Talk will just about hang on to second place, and he will so desperately need that in order to make the gap up to Carbon in the championship. Weaving in celebration, it's going to be Carbon who takes third on the podium. Who will come on fourth? It's going to be Sailor.
Incredible racing from these two. With two teammates. There were a few strategy calls, then being teammates letting each other through sometimes. But these last 10 laps or so, just absolutely incredible racing, very entertaining. We'll watch Nils come over the line.
Yep, so Jim Jam will be taking 5th place and has already come across the line. Nils will come home in 6th. Bandit will come home in 7th. It's going to be Alpha Nut who comes out ahead of Groot on this occasion of the Battle of the Virtual Racers Club. Little battle.
Looks like is Groot going to show some drifting before the end?
Let's cut to Groot right now. Will he drift the last corner? He is doing Slide McGee.
Brilliant.
Yes, fantastic stuff. Great stuff from Groot.
Well, that concludes DRL DTM round 7. Here are your race results.
And of course,
here is your pulse here. TSR Stig.
Congratulations to TSR Stig. Pole to win. An absolutely dominant display throughout qualifying as well as the race, pretty much unchallenged from the word go. And that was an absolutely spectacular display, it has to be said. Just going to quickly go onto the race results screen. Actually, no, I'm going to save the replay before Carbon tells me off for not saving it. Here are your final results then. So it was a gap of 25.231 seconds between TSR Stig, winner, and King of Talk in second. But it was a lot closer in the scrap for second, with Dynamic Carbon only 4 tenths back from their teammate in the end in third.
Carbon giving his teammate props of the battle there.
Indeed, a fantastic battle it was. It was Sailor, the Norwegian, who came home in 4th, TSR Jimmy in 5th. Nilsman will be taking the last points playing position, a minute and 1 second back, but avoided being lapped. So good work there by Nils. And GRM Bandit just outside the points. He's going to really be unhappy with that. A minute and 9 seconds back. And both of the Virtual Racers Club Audi R8s in 8th and 9th. That's Alpha Nut ahead of Groot.
Groot in chat with we get extra points for drifting, right? That's what I heard.
Yes, this is an online drift trial mode.
If there were points for drifting, Groot would be top of the table.
Yes, if this was Robot Wars and they still had style points, definitely. That was fantastic.
We're gonna get some post-race interviews, maybe.
Yeah, sure. I'll. Let's see if we can interview our race winner first. I'm gonna. There he is on this. So, I'll ask him a question, you ask him a question, and then we'll just go from there, sort of. Literally, carbon copies.
Hell yeah.
That's how you know we're in sync here today. So, thanks again for tuning into the fantastic racing we just saw on of course, round 7 of Dynamic Racing League's DTM Season 2 here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. It was a fantastic scrap. So Stig is apparently ill. So, well, considering he still won the race despite being ill, that's a fantastic display.
Let's try and get the other two guys on the podium in here there.
Alright, so King of Torque came
off
second, so let's see if we can get King of Torque in first then. Actually, it'd be interesting if we could like have an interview with Groot, the Slide McGee of the series, now that I've left. We've had a fantastic response to the chat throughout the entire race. Of course, we've just had some comments in. TSR Jimmy saying needs to make the outside turn 1 into turn 2 with a better line because it's the perfect passing place.
Due interview.
Right.
Him and talk.
Right. So.
I'll get both of them in here.
Alright, you send the invites. Everyone should have their voice chat settings on. Joe Witt also in the chat. Come try the right move but sent it to Narnia. Yeah, that was a very optimistic dive bomb, but of course, going for broke. It's better that he would have made the move and it didn't stick than to not make the move at all, it has to be said. King of Talk is here with us now. Yes, hello. King of Talk, fantastic race, it has to be said today, with a second place and a fantastic scrap that you had with your teammate as well. Your thoughts on that amazing battle?
It was a good battle. It was very close at times. There was a little bit of contact towards the end of the race. I think that was both of us getting a little bit edgy, you know, just trying to get the P2.
Edgelords.
Yeah. But really good battle with Corbin. Really enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
I didn't cross the pit lane, so hopefully I get to keep the place.
Yeah, I noticed that. Good job on that.
Yeah.
Yes, when you two were going both wheel to wheel on the final lap, were you guys racing for team them last 10 laps or so? Or were you racing for the Drivers' Championship?
I'd say
Drivers.
drivers. Yeah.
We don't even have a team radio.
Nope. It's all out.
We ran out of budget with the Mission Winnow stickers, so we couldn't get a team radio.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, it certainly seems to be paying off. You guys already still top of the team standings overall. It seemed that TSR Stig seemed to be on a completely other level here today, though, in the Audi R8 LMS. He seemed to get that car really set up well. Was there anything that you think you could have done to perhaps challenge for the win today?
Turn up for
I think-
qualifying.
Yeah. I think us battling the whole race didn't help us at all. Well, I mean, like, Talk definitely had the pace for the win, so
I still have fastest lap, right?
yeah.
I believe you
I
do,
think so.
yes. Yes, it was a 1:43.205. That was set on lap 22.
Yeah, I couldn't touch that. There's only the slipstream keeping me in touch.
Yeah. I had the pace, just obviously starting last. I think by the time I got up into P2, it was already like 8 seconds in front of me anyway.
Yeah, true. That's actually a fair
Good
point.
battle.
You actually starting from last on the grid, you really seemed to rocket up the order in the opening lap, it really seemed.
First two corners, I just see them in fourth. I was like,
Yeah.
shit.
I don't know what happened. I think I tried to keep clean because we all saw what happened in the last season. So I
Yeah.
tried to
Oh, yeah.
take it slow through turn 1, and everyone seemed to take each other out. So I mean, I kind of just picked my way through, and I think it was Nilsman got a really bad exit, and I just managed to get up the inside of him before he could turn
Yeah, I
in.
think Sarah tagged Nilsson or something.
Yeah, so I was up to P4 at the first 3 turns, I think, and then just a case of getting past Carbon and Sail.
Right.
I'm not on about. I was supposed to say, not the move, like, well, the attempt of a move in the last lap. It was, I think it was like a few laps before where, like, I just sent it up the inside after the sector 2 straight.
Yeah.
That was totally not. I did not mean to send it up there. I was just like praying that you said me. I was like, shit.
Yeah, so
It's at moments like that that having a team radio does help. I can definitely tell you that.
I mean, it was a good battle though.
Yeah, fantastic.
I can assure you guys, it was absolutely. It was so exciting to watch. These two battling on almost every corner.
Yeah.
I was trying to battle and watch the stream at the same time because I heard you say you got 23 viewers. I was just like, what?
I know.
Yeah, that
First time on
mad.
Twitch.
On Twitch? Oh, alright, see. I'm watching on YouTube.
No, it was on 10, and then I just look up in the top right, and it's like 23. I was like, why?
Bloody hell. Esports doing well then.
Yeah. Certainly seemed to be the case. Well, thanks again to both of you for coming in to this interview. Of course, you was listening to the voices of King of Talk and his team boss, as well as teammate Dynamic Carbon. We hope to see you for the next race. Of course, congratulations on both making it to the podium on this occasion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done, Carbon.
See you. Thank you too.
Alright, see you in a bit, lads.
Yeah.
There goes King of Talk, and there goes Dynamic Carbon from the chat. So
maybe have one more. And get Bandit maybe.
Bandit maybe. I was thinking Groot, although Bandit did have a decent scrap with Nils. Oh, I really don't know. Which were you thinking then? You think Bandit?
Yeah, let's get Bandit in. I'll invite Bandit.
All right.
Sorry about the blue screen, guys.
Not getting that on YouTube at the moment. And of course, it's just like a side effect. The race is over, so it's not like we're missing any action.
No. There goes Carbon.
I like how you're the one who asked for the interview, and he replies to me saying sure.
Carbon doing some celebratory donuts in front of the stands.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to spectate to see this. Indeed, there he is, Dynamic Carbon. Not the race winner today, but he'll be very happy with a podium result. I believe that's still him, the top of the championship. We have GRM Bandit here with us in the party. Bandit, seemed to be a decent scrap between you and Nils throughout that race. In the end, you just outside of the points in 7th, but would you say there's anything else you could have potentially done in order to have kept Nils behind you and perhaps hold on for that last little point?
Well, me being smart and all, I decided to fuel save. Because I did some mental math and it was wrong. I'm not good at math, FYI. So I'm just sat there on like mix 3 for a bit, you know. Okay, I'm holding them off on the straights. So I get the wise idea, and I switch to mix 4 on the straight with nothing to slipstream. I think you see the problem now.
Yes, but yeah, it's not looking good when you combine all those factors together, it has to be said.
No, and then I missed the cutback by a million miles, so needless to say, I'm totally not kicking myself right now.
Is there anything you felt you could do with the car maybe? You seemed a bit frustrated during practice beforehand. What was the problem there?
I don't know, the car is just oversteering, understeering. I managed to talk to the nuke shot engineer and he helped me out a bit with the car, so big up Joe the Fire. Yeesh. I don't know. What I might do is just take a break next season. I haven't been happy with many of my car choices in DTM, so maybe it's better that I just sit out the next season and do something else.
Well, of course, it would be very unfortunate to see you not on the grid. You've become a bit of a staple of the series, along with your teammate, of course, John Wandering. I'm sure.
No, I mean it's just really frustrating to spend, you know, some time before the race setting up the car and stuff, and then not even getting points for an hour's worth of effort on the actual race. So I don't know.
Yeah, it can really be frustrating time, but of course, anything can happen in motor racing, and of course, as a famous person once said, it usually does. You just outside of the points, so it could have very well been a case of Nils being in 7th and you in 6th in this particular race, so...
Nah, Nils was driving so much better than me. Like, he got past me both times, and then he was just gone up the road. The only reason why I got ahead of him the first time was, he had, I think, run too wide into the really tight chicane, and then he probably just didn't get his focus back until he started catching me again.
Well, I suppose, looking forward to the next round, I'm going to quickly see where that's at. Oh, new alert on my phone.
Jimmy came back to like, heckle me. Thanks, Jimmy.
He's just joined the lobby.
To answer
oh,
your
wow.
question, Jimmy, why I feel safe, I honestly don't know.
He's also in
Looks
the...
like
I
a
had a moment
podium.
where I got a decent lap, so I guess it worked out okay until I got past.
A little, like a parade lap
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, the top 3 in the end now doing a parade lap as they go cruising through Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya at a pace a fair bit slower than they were racing at. The next round is at Monza, so a very high speed track, and a track, if I recall correctly, one that I think you're quite decent at. I could be wrong on that, Bandit.
I can't really say the same, can I?
No, we don't talk about what happened with you and Monza. We don't anymore,
Maybe
at
we
least.
can talk about it.
No,
if you want,
no,
but
no.
I don't think I want to bring that up either.
Let's not. We are not interviewing Brandon here today. But of course.
Man, we should interview Brandon. That'd be hilarious.
But just interview my comment. Well, I interviewed him yesterday because he was racing. But anyway,
Okay.
back to the subject. Monza, a track where low downforce is generally the order of the day. What would you say? I mean, would be your aims going into that particular round of the season, round 8?
To be honest, the Italians can't build a track. Me and John Wonder have discussed this a while ago. Cough, cough, Monza. Cough, cough, Super Formula. Anyways, yeah, so, oh well. I guess I'll just do what I gotta do to get pace out of the car and getting the points, and I guess I'll have a party.
Right, so, of course, fantastic to hear from you again, Bandit. Keep your chin up, pal. I'm sure the points are just around the corner, especially with the fantastic drives that you've been putting in recently, especially in the Super Formula Championship, with that race, oh, spoiler alert, race win at Blue Moon Bay yesterday. That was a fantastic
I mean, if you haven't
drive.
watched it, then you deserve to have it spoiled.
Yes, fair point. You're not wrong.
It was a brilliant race.
It really was.
Thanks.
So of course, thanks
I
again
think I
for...
hate ovals and straight lines.
Thanks again, Bandit, for being on this interview again. I hope to see you next time out, and of course, hopefully for Super Formula as well. Probably next time I speak with you will be tomorrow for the NES Classic, right?
Should be, yeah.
Right, so I'm gonna quickly get a bit of promotion for that. The NES Classic, tune in to... oh wait, no, it's not going to be broadcasted live on Half the Race Gone, because Dirt and DK, the host of that, is going to be racing in it, so I'm going to be interested in making a highlights package. So you can expect to see that at some point.
I could stream it for you if you don't. If you want. Depends how many people turn up.
That's a fair point, although generally we want to keep it on Half the Race Gone, and you'd need Dern's permission in order to get it on that. Anyway, fantastic race, it has to be said, throughout pretty much everyone throughout the field. Fantastic drive for our race winner, TSR Stig, and of course the two Dynamic Esports cars that were on the podium yet again, fighting for that championship. This has been Dynamic Racing League's DTM here on the Dynamic Racing League's YouTube channel and Twitch stream channel. I have been Nukeshot Zokio.
And I've been Brandon Haig.
And the other guy has been GRM Bandit in the interview.
Hello.
Yes, hello Bandit. And we hope to see you next time out as we head somewhere in the world of Super Formula. I believe it's going to be the Super Formula season finale will be the next stream on this channel. So
Brands Hatch Indy Circuit.
Brands Hatch Indy with Super Formula, really? That's gonna be an interesting one. Hope to see you there then, folks. As me and Brandon return to our home country of England. So. Well, the UK. I don't know accent-wise where you're from. You sound a little bit northern.
Yorkshire, mate.
Ah, yeah. I thought around that sort of area. I'm just based in Nottingham, so I'm just.
Well, let's not expose ourselves too much.
Well, of course, I've been Nukeshot off Apple. He's been Brandon Haig. We've also had GRM Bandit on here. Thanks for tuning in to the stream.
25 viewers at the end of the stream.
Fantastic. Well, 25 people that have, well, most of you have probably stuck around for most of this, but great to see the launch of the Twitch channel has been a success. Again, we hope to see you next time out. This has been all of us here on Dynamic Racing Leagues. Thank you for watching, and we'll be seeing you next time. Later, folks.